that to you and the first thing you're thinking is, oh my God, it's going to be impossible for me to get experience in what I'm studying, that's probably a sign of how hard it's going to be for you to get a job in what you're studying. I think the best kind of degrees, to be honest, are the ones where placement is kind of built into the degree. For example, you get a lot of this with healthcare professionals. They often have placements that are mixed into their degree, which makes it so much easier for them to get a job once they finish, because they've got tons and tons of experience on top of all the theory that they've done. But I think with other courses that don't have that setup, you actively need to go out and get that experience, because your degree is just not enough. Networking is also another thing that's really, really important, because unfortunately in some fields it's far less about what you know and who you know. So that's also something I would advise people to do while they're at university, while they have those extra connections. But along with people studying what are essentially passion projects or hobbies, there are also some people who went to university to feel empowered.
My name's Morgan. In 2006, I graduated with a bachelor's degree in Women and Gender Studies. Next year will mark 20 years since I graduated. It's been a long and windy journey, but I've come to the extremely challenging conclusion that my degree was a mistake. The best sense I can make now, the overarching story, is that I was very young and insecure, full of anxiety when I got to college in 1999. I didn't feel power in myself. I was very shy, and I was looking for empowerment for myself, and college is not the place to be looking for that. College should be preparing people to find jobs.
Now, I definitely don't think that going to university is the wisest thing to do for empowerment. I definitely think there are other ways in which you can accomplish that same feeling without getting into thousands and thousands of debt. But that being said, I know what she's saying sounds completely nonsensical. But then you have to remember the fact that the people who are applying to go to university are like 18. And I think it's fair to say we've all made questionable decisions in our teens. So is it really that shocking that some people are going to university for the completely wrong reasons? Like the people who go to university for freshers, they just want to party and get away from their parents. And people say like, oh my God, what are you doing? That's so stupid and so irresponsible. And yes, but they're teenagers. You'd honestly be surprised the number of people who've taken courses just to reconnect with their roots or to find themselves.
So you went to community college for a decade?
I know, my degree was in Chicano Studies and film.
It was what?
Chicano Studies.
Hold on, I'm real white. So I don't know what Chicano is.
Really? What?
I'm from Michigan. I saw one Mexican my entire life until I moved to Texas.
What? You need to go to LA. Chicano, it's a culture. Mexican-American.
And you got a degree in that?
Yes.
On purpose?
Yeah, I wanted to connect to my roots.
Cool. Go to cultural landmark or read a book, because you're not getting a job in Mexican-American studies.
But I can go back to school.
What a roast session.
I personally think the real issue here is that these dead-end courses even exist in the first place. And I think it's quite obviously because of the fact that universities or colleges are essentially businesses.
Check out Caleb Pamber if you haven't already.
The more courses they can have, the more variety they can offer, the more types of students they can entice. And in doing so, they can collect much more tuition money and make more money. It really is as simple as that. If you can give people any course, then you're going to have a ton more applicants, which can give you money. So it's quite predatory, to be honest, in my opinion. Because I'm pretty sure many of these universities know that there's nothing they can do with these degrees, yet they still put them out on offer. Especially when you consider the fact that university or higher education is so sought after. So because it's in such high demand, they get away with charging these like astronomical prices. There are some people who've even taken the time to compile lists of all of the worst things to study at university because of just how low the job prospects are.
Top 7 degrees with the highest unemployment rate. Starting at number 7, we got computer science at 6.1%. A lot of companies scaled back entry-level hiring to focus on AI, and nowadays companies want entry-level people to have the skills of a senior while getting paid the salary of an intern. It's crazy. Number 6 is sociology at 6.7%. This one isn't really a surprise because if you don't have a specialty with this major, the market just doesn't favor you. Number 5 is fine arts at 7%. The bar to stand out in this major is pretty high. And unless you somehow blow up online, a lot of gig gigs just don't pay out well. Number 4 is graphic design at 7.2%. There are a lot of AI design tools out there, so the bar to enter into
I
this field has
remember
lowered,
actually
and
having an
every time
interest
there's
in
new
graphic
AI
design
tools,
and
companies think
sociology.
at least that they need less human labor. Number 3 is computer engineering at 7.5%. They're in a similar boat to the people in computer science. The tech job market just sucks right now. But trust, it will get better. Number 2 is physics at 7.8%. And this is one of the hardest majors out there with so much math. But outside of academia or research labs, right now there isn't really much placement. Number 1, and I don't think this is a surprise to most people because I think it's been pretty high up there, coming in at 9.4%, we got anthropology.
I do definitely think that AI has thrown a spanner in the works for a lot of people, because there are people who went to university studying something that AI is now taking over. Like, imagine going to uni, studying something, and then next thing you know, a robot is doing it for you. That is just rude, actually. It's quite rude. So I do definitely think we're going to see a massive shift in the kind of courses that people are doing, as well as how the jobs even look for people now that we have the option of AI, and many employers are choosing to opt for AI instead of hiring people for some of this stuff. Now, I touched on it before, but I think we do actually need to speak about how universities do have some predatory tactics.
Young adults will stay in college indefinitely, buying degrees to avoid entering the workforce and then facing potential failure, because they're going to fail when they start a new job. And then colleges capitalize on this exact fear. They know that that's what they're afraid of. And so that's when they try to upsell them master's degree programs and graduate degree programs. They promote the idea that an endless pursuit of purchasing paper is noble or even preferable to work. They make it seem like it's more righteous, like it's a higher calling to just sit there and produce nothing except for your own debt, even if it means that you're accumulating directionless debt that has no function for your life. The loan system facilitates them doing this. And as long as they're continually taking out loans, exactly like you said, they'll continue to loan to them and they won't have to pay. So it's a pretty slippery slope. People just really...
Yeah, it really is a slippery slope. And I think I'm probably one of the first people to say this, but I think a college degree, it has almost no purchasing power in today's workforce and economy right now, because more and more people actually start to realize that their degree means nothing, like absolutely nothing. And as someone that actually used to go to college many, many years ago, I'll tell you one thing. A lot of people are extremely unhappy.
Are changing, and if you act right now, you could save 10% of your entire order plus free shipping with Golden Summer 8. We have an interesting collection of bottles, journals, and etc. to not only enlighten your life, but everything else around you. If you act right now, click on the link in the description down below, and you will save your freedom and liberty. Take the golden pill. The revolution is now. We're counting on all of us to be innovators.
Very, very unhappy. And especially as we go deeper in these videos in the next few weeks and potentially maybe 2 months, we will find out that these degrees just don't mean anything anymore. Maybe back in the day, it did, but now that we have a bunch of degrees that mean absolutely nothing, and with AI just literally laying people off, you're going to see a lot more videos of people just saying that their degree means absolutely nothing.
All of a sudden they end up at the bottom and they're in so much student debt they don't know what to do about it.
Now, this is definitely true because my university did this. They had this whole scheme where if you got a high...
But there is one more solution I want to talk about. You could either get a trade job, start a company, YouTube channel, or whatever skills that you actually do have. It's not too late to actually start a new path, as I did for myself, literally, I would say close to 3 years ago. Probably the best decision of my life is dropping out of college. That was literally the best decision of my life, but looking back, I thought it was a bad decision, but later on, I'm very glad that I dropped out. Because if I graduated, I would be in a lot of debt, just like everybody else.
Enough grade, then they would give you an offer to give you basically 50% off of your master's course if you did the course with them. And it is true that there are many people who pursue higher education continuously because they are using it as a way to buy time, because they don't really know what to do with their life, but at the same time they don't want to not be doing something because they feel like that would be wasting time, so they just stay in education, getting degree after degree after degree after degree. And universities knowing that and still doing stuff like this, I don't know, it just doesn't sit well with me. I remember when I got my letter where they were offering to give me 50% off of my master's, I respectfully put it exactly where it belonged. In the bin. To be honest, the whole higher education system has predatory aspects to it, especially when you consider things like student loans and how many of them work.
30-year-old people that I see having meltdowns on Facebook because they got a 4-year degree, they've been paying off their student loans, doing the right thing, and they were never taught how interest works.
Yeah.
And they got on 10 years after paying their student loans down for 10 years and realized, oh, I've only paid off
the interest, not the principal.
I've only paid off the interest and I still owe a ridiculous amount of money, and they freak out. Like, these kids don't understand what they're doing.
The same exact issue happens with interest rates over here as well.
I don't mean to ruin anyone's Thursday, but if you went to university, you might want to listen to this. I have been paying off my student finance for the last couple of years, and at this point I've paid tens of thousands of pounds, okay? So I was like, oh my God, I'm surely coming to the end, because, like, that's a lot of money I've been paying. Like, I wonder, I've never really checked how much I've got left. Let me go log on and check. So this morning, get my laptop out, log on, huge numbers, left to pay, £60,000, 60,
No way.
000 thousand pounds left to pay. Because I didn't realise they're adding interest on it every year, that it's not paid off.
This comment made me laugh. Someone wrote, mine's at 99k. Can't wait for it to hit 100. And to be honest with you, I honestly found it so touching and so nice of Euphoria to accurately depict the conversations that graduates have with their loan providers.
You owe me money.
No, I know, yeah. I was gonna pay you back.
You were?
Yeah. But then, you know, you moved. I don't really have like 10 grand right now.
You don't owe me 10 grand, silly.
I don't?
No, you did 46 months ago, and now $10,000 at a 20% monthly interest rate over 46 months means that you actually owe me $43,887,000.
Oh my gosh.
For many...
Did you hear what this woman said with 20% interest? 43 million. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this is why going to college really is not for everybody. It really isn't. $43 million. 43 million. And this is just from a movie. Imagine if this is in real life. That is totally insane, man. Wow.
Graduates, university has set them back mentally. It can be very demoralizing for you to be someone who is always good at school, always got good grades, got your degree, and yet still find yourself falling behind. If you've always been a high achiever and you followed the path through to education because that's what you were told to do, struggling to find work, having to move back in with your parents, not being able to like move out or to afford any of the things that you thought you would be able to do, especially when you consider now we have access to social media, so you're seeing everyone's highlights reels, you're seeing all the successful people who you thought you could be living like, and it just creates that bigger gap between what you expected for your life versus what you actually got, and that can be very, very difficult for people. The issue isn't that people went to university or that degrees have no value. The problem is more so that young people were promised that if they took a certain path, then everything would work out and fall into place. And for a long time, that was true. Back when there were a lot less people going to university, where they weren't all of these Mickey Mouse degrees, it often was the case that if you had higher education, you got a degree, you were often put in a position to be a higher earner and to have more opportunities. However, nowadays, we've got everyone doing what they were told they were supposed to do. They pursued...
Yeah, they pursued in bullshit. That's exactly what actually happened. But before I end this video, I will have a final thought, and then we're going to be closing this three-part video reaction series. So what we've learned is that people's financial budgeting and responsibilities is at an all-time low, and people are like, maybe some people are paying like what, 20 to maybe 30% interest rate, depending on how much they owe. Imagine if it's $43 million. you know the situation is really bad when it's that way. But imagine if this is real life and it's closer to like, let's just say 10 to like 200K, at least depending on which degree you're in. How does that make you feel? That makes you feel terrible. I'm glad I'm not in this situation, but I think everyone else is not so lucky. So, in my opinion, if you want to pay off debt, just pay it off as soon as possible and actually just get your financial situation under control where you actually will own your freedom and be happy. And with that in mind, that is it for today's video. If you enjoy videos like this, like and share it, comment down below, and subscribe to the Alex Banister channel. Check out Nomadic Path, check out Nomadic Freedom Forum, because those two are actually the future of where we need to head right now. And with that in mind, that's it for today's video. Take the golden pill. The revolution is now. We're counting on all of us to win in life and make a big difference. And with that in mind, I will see you in the next video. Peace out.
Videos like this, and you're actually interested in videos like this one that just happened recently, do me a favor, like and share and comment down below and subscribe to this channel right here and right now. With that in mind, I'll see you in the next video, innovator.